I think about getting a new VR system. I got the original
Oh
HTC
yeah,
Vive, like
you
the
really liked it
gym.
back in the day.
Yeah, I really did, but there weren't enough games, and the resolution wasn't quite high enough, and PCs in general weren't all that. I think I had a 1080 Ti. I think that was like the cutting edge card then, and now we're up to the 4090. So obviously a lot
Mm.
more power. But the new HTC is around a grand again. There's a game, Woody, called Ghosts of Tabor. It's Escape from Tarkov in VR, and the gunplay,
Really?
dude, the gunplay looks really fun. The
But
guy's
wouldn't you
like,
get wrecked by people who don't have VR?
everybody's got VR.
You
It's a
have to use
VR
it.
only game. So everybody is like fucking pop, pop with their little pistol and like fucking leaning. I watched a guy playing today and he's got like an AK and he's in a firefight down a hallway, which happens all the time. And it's just, he's like, oh shit, fucking changing the mag, fucking, oh, I got him through the locker. You see the guy fall over, and it was like, man, that looks fun. I need to watch more content to see and talk to somebody who's played to see if it's like super janky and how the
Yeah.
movement
How do
works.
you move?
The guy he was fighting down the hallway jumped from one end of the side of the hallway to the other, like from like across, and I'm like,
Did the
is this going to
player
be like a
jump or did he
physics?
hit the jump button? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dangerous if you're just leaping around your living room.
Oh, for
So what
sure.
I would make a perimeter around my walls with like foam noodles that were like projected, a foot away from the walls in every direction, like pool noodles, so that you don't. Because I've punched a wall before, and there's some, how you bite your finger accidentally. You're like, wow, I didn't know I was biting that hard into mashed
Yes.
fucking
Mhm.
potatoes.
Mm.
Jesus, it's a
You're eating
different.
mashed potatoes with your
What
hands.
you know what I mean? Yeah. What do you use, a spoon?
Alright, I take it
Animal?
back. It was really soup.
Yeah.
But like, when you punch a wall that you didn't know was there, it's a different feeling. I took all the skin off my knuckles one time because I don't remember what I was playing. I was punching fucking blocks or music's notes or some shit. I knocked the shit out of the wall, and I didn't want to play anymore after that. Or like not
Dude,
that day. It
the
fucking
same
hurt.
thing
Beating
happens
stuff
when
up.
you stand up and hit your head into something. Like, imagine you're under a bunk bed
Yeah.
or something. You stand up and hit that. You're like, Jesus Christ. Does everyone stand up with the force of 10 men? Like,
Yeah.
why do I stand up with excessive amounts of force?
You don't really realize you stand up angrily every time, just banging your head on the underside of a bunk bed. That brings me back to being a kid, just slamming your head on the underside like little girder of bunk beds. That was no fun. Bunk beds really lost their like fun allure after maybe the age of 8.
Would top
Nah,
bunk or
trust me,
bottom
I was
bunk?
in
What's better?
What was
in
better?
prison or in real life.
Both.
Top bunk, I think, because I don't mind getting up there and it's fresher air and nobody can fall on you. Nobody's stepping over you.
And if it's
I just think it's the
above the
way.
height of a regular person, I feel like it gives privacy.
Mhm.
Like, if
A
you
little
have to
bit.
stand on your tippy toes to see me and I can, like, go to the far side, I feel like I can hide from your view.
I need
It's
the bottom bunk. I'll
anti-privacy in
roll right
prison.
out of that top bunk.
It's the opposite of
Mm.
privacy in prison because you're up here where everybody can't. You can see over the walls. Like you're kind of lying. When I lie down, the wall that separates me from the cell next door is only comes up about this much higher than my bed. So like
Oh,
I
so it
can
is
sort of,
higher than your bed.
yeah, I can like put my elbow on it. Like when you're driving a car, you put your elbow on the window. It's
Mhm.
about like that. And I like sit up and talk to the guy who's in the cell next to me who's there for cocaine distribution. So I can chat with him and then lay down. So when you're both sleeping on top bunks, there's not much between you. There's he's on the opposite side of the wall. Like you're not side by side. Like he's on the opposite side of his cell. But like
Mhm.
you lean up, you can totally see each other real well. You're on the same level, and there's nothing between you. But yeah, that game
Yeah.
looks sick. I've I don't know. I'm hoping there's not lag and cheaters, and I don't know what the movement is like. I'm worried about the movement more
It's
than
gonna
anything.
suck, but that's okay, right? It's VR. It sucks for everyone, and it's something different.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The movement in previous games, you would sort of there was walking, like you
Mhm.
walk around and your character walks around. But if you wanted to move beyond the room, you sort of have to do like a mini teleport thing where you sort of point where you want to be and your character kind of slides forward. So I don't know how that's going to work when we're in a combat situation. We're both shooting at each other, but from what I saw, it really looked like he could tuck his elbows in and lean out just a little and peck at the guy with his pistol and
The
stuff.
Tarkov community simultaneously loves their game and hates their developer. They just really want a better version of Tarkov.
Lots of
And no
changes
one
to the game.
has. I've seen some content about it. Like there's new bosses, they're expanding streets a little bit. I guess you're gonna
New
go
recoil
inside.
system, new map,
Ooh.
new
A new
armor
map?
system. Yeah, new map.
What's
Arenas
it
in
called?
beta. I don't remember what it's called, but it's essentially a map that's locked to players level 15 and below. So it's like it's supposed to be if there was a storyline to the game, which eventually they're trying to get to like it feeling that way. This is where you start, and I think it's based in like some headquarters for like the USEC or whatever that's blown out, and you like leave there, and it's like like a low loot area, but there won't be Chad zooming around that are level
That's
50 fucking you up.
interesting. I misunderstood. I was casually paying attention to a Noise Guy video, and I thought he was saying that there was an area for levels 15 and below that was an in-game flea market that your character could go to. But I have low confidence in this. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. This is
Yeah,
just what I thought.
Yeah, it's a new map, and then arena's out in beta form. They said that like people would get notified if they're like invited to go to the arena, but that's like Call of Duty multiplayer mode now. But with Tarkov gameplay, I don't know if you lose your kits to each other or how that works exactly, but it looked fun. I saw some people doing it, and then they finally introduced the armor system so that formerly, if you're wearing an armor vest, every inch of it has the bulletproofness level of bullet protection, regardless of if there's actually a plate there. So, for example, in a slick plate carrier, the straps that go over your shoulders are just straps. There's not armor in those straps. But if you shoot me in the strap in the video game, it's going to give me the same protection as if you'd hit where the plate would be in real life. No longer. Now you only get protection where the plates would be in the armor that you're wearing. So something like a slick is not nearly as good. It's a really small area if you've ever seen where the plates are. And so some of the armor systems like the 6B23, I think, like you've got multiple plates in there. So when you go to repair it later, you'll look and the plate in the top back got hurt, or the top center plate is fucked up. It's at 60%. And so they finally introduced that system, which I think is going to change the way gunplay works a lot. Pieces of armor like that big fort armor with the shoulder pads and the crotch protection.
One called the Defender that's really bulky, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, there's a bunch now. They've added so many like just backpacks, rigs, and armor systems that are sometimes redundant, but nice to have because you're not seeing the same fucking backpack on everybody. It's nice to just have a variety. But I go back to the cheater thing, man. I won't spend that much time in a game where there are cheaters. If it was COD, which also has cheaters, it's like, who cares? Would my KD go down? Did I not get my kill streak? But in Tarkov, you know the deal. I don't want.
I do care, and the things that you said mockingly are really frustrating for me at the time. Like if I am at an 8 kill streak and I need 9, and some cheater gets me, that ruins my game.
Yeah, but in Tarkov, if you like take my fucking $1.5 million ruble kit and like fuck up my quest, so I got to redo it again. I might get off for the night and have bad dreams about this.
Yeah, you're right. But the stakes are higher.
And I love the high stakes. So I'd say I'm 60% sure I'm going to buy that Vive later tonight and play that game some. I'm going to do some more research to see if it's worth it. But all the gameplay I've seen just looks so fun. It looks like VR Tarkov.
Me and some buddies I just got a text from them where we're going to start playing AoE 2 again a bit. If you want to jump into the finest RTS game ever constructed.
I won't have this conversation again about how we have these hot rod fucking cutting edge gaming PCs that we're blessed to be able to afford. And like I see people online like with their shitty PCs and they can't play most good games. And here you are wanting to play this old ass game that you could play on a fucking laptop from 1998.
No, because it's incredibly poorly optimized. And it's fine. Not everyone has a mind for strategy.
I don't, clearly.
You will not be coaxed into this snafu. Damn.
Here's what I'll play with you because I love playing games with you and just love hanging out with you in general. Any fighting game on console or now we can play on PC.
I'll try the UFC thing with you, but
I've never played it.
You have no experience.
None. All right. I am as bad as you can be. Like I'm like your girlfriend will beat me. That's how bad I am. I never played these games growing up. I played a little like with my roommates, occasionally. I have 5 hours lifetime in fighting games. Like I am complete noob, but I am a big UFC fan, so I'm hoping that
That
the
helps.
idea, and this is actually be a funny like video idea we could make, or even a live stream or whatever. Like me getting to pick the fighters, like you have to like blindly just pick one based on their physique, not knowing their record
Yeah.
or anything, and I get to pick my fighter.
I'll pick one of the Russian Muslims with the scary beards because they know what they're doing.
They're not all, yeah, but some of them, okay.
I won't know which ones are good though. But I bet they have ratings next to them. I'll pick the highest rated.
And how do you wrestle it in a video game? I don't know what that. I bet that's harder to like string submission combos together.
You have Game Pass, right, on the Xbox?
If I don't, I get it. You know what I
mean? Yeah, UFC 4 comes with Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play UFC 4 before I invested $70 in UFC 5 because that's pretty ridiculous. And I'm sure it's the same game.
Is there only one game, or are there two games for the UFC, or is there just one? I really don't follow it.
When I looked it up, it just said UFC 4 and UFC 5.
EA make one, and
I think it was EA. Like it's whatever. It's the big one. Like it's got all the licensing and everything. So I'll try that with you. I'm totally down. I need to buy a headset for Xbox Live. I don't even have one. Or we could just do Discord, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to just play probably on my PC. I mean, I have an Xbox Series X. Anyway, I would be interested into that because I don't know, it's kind of fun to play as a fighter that I like, and like try to use their moves the way that they use them. Try to fight like the guy that.
I'll set my Xbox up in here because I have it set up to my TV in my living room right now. But I'll set it up in here, and then we can like try it out in the Discord. I bet there's someone in the 50 Discord that's fucking incredible at it that will be like, I can show you the ropes, and then they'll just brutalize us.
My friend ZT, God rest his soul, he went on that he died in that motorcycle accident not too long ago. But he went on that Colorado trip with us, and he was such a Smash Bros savant that he 1v2'd everyone. There weren't two players in the room good enough to beat him.
Yeah,
that's a game where 2v1 means 2v1. Like there are three characters on the screen fighting, and he's keeping one of them constantly off the map, like trying to recover and get back up on the map. He's like, wow, you go away while I beat the shit out of you. And then when the other guy got back, he's like, actually, you get off the map too. And he beat the shit out of the other one. It was so cool.
Dude, it's so hard to be good at. Like, that's one of those games that, like, among casuals, like when I'd have people over and we'd all play on my Switch, like, I dominate in that circle because I just know all the moves, like at least how to do them. And like that gives you an edge. And then every once in a while you play against someone who like really knows what they're doing. One of my buddies he got really into it, and in like 2007 2008 when it was big, he went to a tournament and he played, like, there were S tier characters, then like A, B, C, just like any fighting game. And so like everybody at the time was like, it was just Fox versus Falco from Star Fox, or Fox versus Fox, or Falco versus Falco, because they were fast, had lasers, were really, really good. And like a D-list guy was Luigi. Nobody fucked with Luigi because he didn't jump normally. Like everybody else goes like jump and then they come back down. You jump with Luigi and he goes on like a journey, like wahoo, and just kind of floats around a bit. And he was butt fucking people with Luigi, and he got a little, what looked like 3D printed, but they didn't have 3D printers back then, statue of like a champion of, St. Louis with like a little Luigi on the top, like they customized it. And so then someone like him comes over, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm not good at all. Like I'm really bad. Like all I had was an advantage of my friends were drunk and they don't know the buttons. So which does
Zach says there's a guy in our Discord who plays competitively with Luigi.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I need to play with him then, because that's another really fun fighting game. Super Smash Bros. It's real fun.
So that one's not for me. I don't like the aesthetic of that one, and I don't care about those characters. Mortal Kombat, on the other hand, I guess the iconic Mortal Kombat characters I'm into a little bit, Raiden and fucking Sub-Zero and Scorpion and all those guys. But the way they've gotten all these other things licensed, and you can be RoboCop and Rambo and the Terminator and Omni-Man, and that's cool to me. There's so many things you can play as that I actually
I'd try that
like.
Too. I never really played those fighting games, so I don't know the buttons and the combos and everything.
It's all the same. If we could
little button mashing. But I will definitely play UFC with you. I don't know what style of fighter I'd want to play as. I imagine ground stuff is going to be difficult. So maybe like a boxer or a kickboxer.
I definitely want to do like a kickboxer guy. I want something like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, or I mean, obviously saying John Jones is like, yeah, I'm a Georgia fan, but I want someone who's like long and lanky and can like jab. I want like 3 moves that work, right? I want to know like that teep kick, like that front kick. I want to know like a good jab, and then I want when they're like dizzy or whatever and they start glowing, I need like the big haymaker. Like I think that's enough to carry me against an amateur.
Dude, when I tried that one match against the computer that was trying to, help me out when I played UFC 4, I just like the only thing I was getting that was landing on my opponent were like little wimpy leg kicks, and meanwhile this guy is just feeding me my own teeth with jabs. It was rough.